Bro, I'm really about to get your pickle chin that boy. Hey, go that collard green head that boy. Oh, head that boy, yo, dirt that boy, stink that boy, afro head that, lip gloss chin that boy, ugly that boy, ugly dirt.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The El Pearly Show. Today, we are back with the iconic, the well-known, the beloved, the series that's keeping the lights on, Fallout Smoke Spots. Today, we're going to be going over the worst fucking Fallout-related thing I have ever played in my life. No, I haven't played Fallout 4. Yes, I have played Fallout Tactics. No, I have not played Brotherhood of Steel. Between those two, it's probably more likely that I'll play Brotherhood of Steel, because Fallout 4 and its DLCs are the cost of at least 3 or 4 street tacos, and Brotherhood of Steel is free $99. All jokes aside, I actually hadn't played through this DLC before I started this video, and I was absolutely not having a good time. I'm not gonna lie, your boy's not having the greatest time with fucking Mothership Zeta right now. No, I wish I was rage baiting. I genuinely don't know what they want me to do here. Why the fuck do they... See, that just pisses me off. Why don't they put the waypoint on the fucking thing that I actually need to use? Although, to be fair, I was very low on supplies in the DLC and in real life. Your boy needed about 15 more stim packs and a cheeseburger in my stomach before I started this DLC. Am I stupid? Don't answer that. But I know you all didn't click on this video to hear me bitch. If y'all would like to do that, you can check me out on Twitch using the text on screen or the link in the description. So, without further ado,
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it!
first up on the smoke spot is going to be this room that's immediately off of the holding cells, this little blue room here with all these nice little terminals and stuff like that. Nothing special, nothing crazy, it just reminds me of sort of like a cubicle, maybe some little studio or something. Very nice blue hues. I like all the terminals that are completely unintelligible and look completely alien, even. Maybe my brain thinks this room is so relaxing because it's immediately off of the holding cells and it's, you know, a safe place compared to being in the alien probing chamber. Unfortunately, this room is situated before you get all your shit back, so you're gonna have to come here later on if you want to spark up. Unfortunate. Moving on to the next location, we actually can spark up here since it's after we get our shit back from the Ayla Mouse.
Everything I do, I go hard, oh God. Everything I do, I go hard, oh God. Everything I do, I go hard, oh
We're gonna be sparking up in the engineering core. There's actually a couple of spots in here that I think are worthy of getting higher than the Zeton mothership in. First off, you've got this window right here, which is actually the first look outside of the ship you'll get during the DLC. Pretty cool view of the stars in space, you even got some chairs to sit down, and although it kind of pales in comparison to what we'll see later, it's definitely a nice start. The cryo chamber stasis room, or the defrosting room, whatever you want to call it, would actually be a pretty sweet smoke spot as well, not only because you'll be able to gulp down cold air to soothe your lungs after hitting the blunt, but also because it's an insane blunt rotation. In what other scenario are you going to be passing it between a samurai from the Azuchi Momoya period, a 200-year-old army medic, a cowboy with PTSD, and Halle Berry if she enslaved people? Sally obviously has to go chill in a vent or some shit during this because she's way too young, she's like fucking 11 years old. She shouldn't be frying her developing brain with THC, although I don't exactly think the Zetan mothership is a great spot for a child to grow up either. Regardless, I think having a blunt rotation in the cryo defrosting room would be pretty sweet, where the cryo air feels like taking a hit out of an iced bong. That's too good to pass up, bro. If you're worried about the risks of breathing in the cryo air, you can always step over to this main room with the centrifuge and look at all the pretty lights. I think it's funny, this area of the DLC kind of looks like the society if we meme. Next up is going to be the decompression chamber, aka the area where if you don't put on your spacesuit correctly, your head gets popped like a grape. I would be a complete fraud if I made this video and didn't include the decompression chamber. Not only does the airlocked decompression chamber grant you the ability to have the most diabolical hotbox known to man, it's also directly before the spacewalk. You've got the opportunity to be one of the most highest people in human history, both literally and figuratively. I think that's one of the only caveats to the decompression chamber is that if you get too high and green out, you're gonna have to be greening out during the spacewalk. You're gonna have to be careful not to fucking fall off the side of the ship. You'd better hope that you brought an uptime energy to wake you up. The decompression room is pretty sweet, all things considered, it even being right next to the first spot on our list, but how are you gonna beat the spacewalk? There's not even any enemies here, and you're mostly gonna be jumping around in low gravity and fixing whatever these little things are. Unfortunately, you aren't able to see the Earth from the spacewalk, and I think with all the light pollution coming off the ships, your view of the stars probably wouldn't be a whole lot better than if you just lived in a flyover state and went out in your backyard. That being said, not including spacewalk on the list would be an absolute crime. We've got to have a lit blunt inside of the spacesuit the entire time during the spacewalk, or this means Colonel Hardigan died for nothing. I'm going to sort of meld the next two together because they're here for very similar reasons. We're going to be visiting the observation deck and the death ray control room for a similar reason. They both have very good views of the Earth. That's right, planet Earth. The Earth. The big E. The observation deck is actually immediately after the spacewalk anyways, so you're probably still going to be pretty high if you hotbox the decompression chamber like we were talking about. Maybe everyone that's at the observation deck can have another smoke sesh while we're all staring at the Earth and bonding over our shared humanity. Of course, this has got to be after Sally jumps in a vent or some shit, because the last thing this poor little girl needs is to be in an environment with a shit ton of substance abuse. That goes for all you kids watching this too. Don't fucking microwave your brain with THC before you turn 18 or you'll end up like me. For the record, that's not a good thing. The observation deck is a pretty simple and sweet smoke spot, although the aliens showing up and barely missing blowing a fucking crater in the earth might be a little bit of a vibe killer. Or I think if you consumed enough Giggle Bush, you'll just try not to laugh as the alien threatens to blow up Canada. Bro, we're all Americans. We can't even fucking find Canada on a map. Honestly, between America's two neighbors, I'm throwing Canada to the wolves every time. Mexico gave us cervezas and Latinas. What has Canada ever given us? I guess we can always Google it. Okay, it says here, Canada discovered insulin, built the electron microscope, and has key roles in deep learning and AI. Moving on to the death ray control room. This one is actually here for pretty similar reasons to the observation deck. You get a really good look at the Earth, blah blah blah, you get it by now, it's the same skybox for most of the DLC. This one is actually pretty fun because you can fiddle around with the death ray and accidentally send a few countries into the Shadow Realm. You will be on your own during this part of the DLC though, which means no group smoke sessions with the PTSD Cowboy and Elliot Elliot. You are going to be on your own for this part of the DLC, but you actually do get an excellent view of the Earth and the stars, all that good stuff. This is really probably the best view of space that you'll get during the entire DLC, mostly because of this glass window that wraps around the whole room. Listen, I'm no architect, but I think having a massive glass window, not only on your floor, but also wrapped around your entire room, is a huge structural design flaw. I think even if the Lone Wanderer got turned into hamburger meat at the beginning of this DLC, then the aliens still wouldn't be long for this world, no pun intended. Before we get into the final spot on our list, I wanted to mention a few honorable mentions and also a dishonorable mention. That's right. You've watched however many episodes of Best Fallout Smoke Spots, you would have never expected the worst Fallout Smoke Spots. The dishonorable mention is going to go to the experimentation lab. I could honestly just leave it at that. I feel like the name, experimentation lab, pretty much gives you an idea of why we really want to stay far the fuck away from this place. I don't like looking at Abomination sober. I think looking at one while I was a little blazed would be enough to turn me straight edge.
Jesus Christ.
There aren't really any redeeming qualities of this place, and I'm scared, so we're going to move on. Honorable mentions are going to go to Steamworks and the Waste Disposal. Steamworks because I think it's a very visually interesting location and it's fun to play through, and the Waste Disposal because of all the unique cool shit down here, as well as being a giant reference to the trash compactor scene in A New Hope. Steamworks didn't really make the list because it would be hot as fuck and there's a ton of enemies here, and Waste Disposal didn't make the list because it would smell like shit. The Corvega is cool though. Final spot on our list is going to be the bridge, aka the captain's chair. You've got an amazing view of the Earth up here, even more so if you go and stand up in the front, but sitting in the captain's chair and sparking one up after you've splattered the ceiling with the remainder of the Zetans would be so fucking satisfying. You'll have some company here even after you beat the DLC, what with Elliot, the Samurai, and Sally. I don't know if the first two would actually spark up with you at this point, but fingers crossed. Sally definitely won't be because she's a child. The PTSD of dealing with Zetans is enough. Her brain does not need any more stress. That being said, where the fuck is Paulson? This shit would probably be therapeutic for him. He could actually use it. I don't see why the Samurai is still here and Paulson has gone off to the shithole wasteland to do Red Dead Redemption 3, but okay, whatever works, man. Captain's chair is a sweet spot to spark up at, and if you're really bored, you can just start pressing the death button, Ray. Probably the most dangerous sensory toy to have ever been created. Alright, but that is pretty much going to be it for today's video, you guys. Next up, we are going to be going to the pit, but I won't spoil anything other than that. Thank you for watching, everybody. Check me out on other platforms if you enjoyed my video. I hope everybody is staying warm, and see you next time.